Alright, I'm just gonna open up some of my search history because I was kind of being harassed as I was looking things up online. And so I started typing things in, and this was addressed in the, it'll be addressed on the December 7th video, where this is something that's personal. It's my internet use inside my own home that apparently my neighbors knew about. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open this in new tabs and show what I was putting into my search history, or my search box, as I was trying to communicate to the people who were putting kind of inappropriate things up in my searches or something. I don't know. I mean, there was just some really strange things coming up on all of my searches, and I don't know why. Okay, the first one was God is on my side. This is from the 28th of November. You are in the wrong. And I just want you to remember, those were the words that my neighbor said, oh, but we're the ones in the wrong. And this was on the 7th of December. This was the night that there was actually a police officer in my neighborhood, and I don't know why. He will defend my cause, because I said God is on my side. You will fall for, I can't remember, I really can't remember what the search was, but it looks like my battery's about to die. Look at 3%. So, oh, darn. And I had put in this verse, and then there was like one other thing that I did. You have repaid evil for good. Evil will never leave the house of one who repays back evil for good. I believe that was my last one. But regardless, what I was really trying to address is this one, where I said, I typed in, you are in the wrong, and this was on the 28th of November. Alrighty, I am just making a video because I was leaving my home today, and the police are on my road. You know, I've called them so many times and waited so many hours, and so I'm really curious as to what's going on. But there was something that happened to me, a couple of things actually today. When I was gardening, Wendy came over and spoke to me. And she was trying to get information out of me, it seemed. Let's try and get this focused as well as we can, because we are going to need to get this on film. There's a police officer on my road. This person's going to need to get out of the road. It's really interesting because whenever I've tried to get the police out to help me, I've not been able to get them, so I'm curious as to what's happening here. And I'm going to get this right here on film. There we go, okay. And the reason I'm doing that is simply because this keeps happening to me. When I'm like leaving my house, I see them everywhere, but I can't see them to help me when I need help. And I had literally, the neighbor had, he had flown his, drone over my house, and he was trying to like get pictures of me. And when I called them, they never came out, and they never spoke to the neighbor, and I couldn't get them to help me. I've had issues with my cat getting his fur cut. I had things stolen from my chicken coop. I've also, eggs stolen from my chicken coop when I was gone. Somebody got into my well. Somebody, it appears, maybe has broken my fence gate. though I'm not certain about that one, but I don't know how it would just fall the way that it fell, like it was wholly and completely destroyed, and it has to be getting rid of. Also, there was something to where I recently fixed my fence, and I noticed that my fence had been right where I had fixed it. Somebody had moved the one next to it to where they could see me, and it's my neighbor next door who flew his drone over and was trying to get pictures of me in my own backyard. And this is also in my backyard to where he could look at me and watch me. Tonight while I was gardening, I heard him say, "Watch out, she might see you," or something like to that extent. And then I heard a woman say, "Oh, but we're the ones in the wrong." I noticed as I finished gardening that the curtain to that same window that I believe they're trying to observe me from their home was moved over to the side as if somebody was trying to look out of it. So I'm just making a little video recording of this tonight. When I went out, I was going to actually get a picture of it because I'm going to get something to eat. And, oops, don't get my brights on. And, sorry. The blind had been pulled down. So I wasn't able to get a picture of how it was, but I did take note of it, when I was walking in. I was like, wow, so they're once again watching me like they have done in the past. I had gone over to speak to the wife at one point about something that happened a few months ago. There's other odd behavior that I've recorded, though I've not necessarily reported any of it until the drone incident. But I do find it super interesting that there's a police officer on my street. There's no crime that I can imagine would have taken place. We live in a Christian community, so it's really strange to me that he was parked there, and also that this had happened today. I also had Wendy come over while I was gardening, like my side garden where you could hardly even see me. I mean, she really would have had to have been told that I was out by somebody, or really been staring at my property to have seen me, because it's right by the entrance to my backyard pretty much. It's the very edge of my garden, and it's hidden by trees. And she came over and she started talking to me, and she asked me if I was going home. And then she asked me about the fence, which I had tried to repair, that has been damaged by the neighbors. And then she also... Am I getting somebody behind me? Okay, I'm going to pull over because I'm kind of driving slow. There we go. Get out of the way of people. Yes, because what had happened was, okay, what she was asking me was, sorry. She asked me about my fence and kind of criticized the fact that it was falling down. Like, you would literally have to come onto my property, or have been on my property, quite possibly when I was gone, or else, I don't even know what else, to have known anything about my fence, unless you were maybe a part of destroying my fence, or knew who had destroyed my fence. I mean, that's a pretty big, that's in the thousands of dollars to replace, if I'm thinking I heard my husband correctly. And I'm not employed because I was bullied out of my job. So she came over and complained about my fence. She kept looking at my shorts as if I shouldn't be outside in a pair of shorts. That was really weird and kind of creepy, and honestly, I think it was, if that was what she was thinking, I think it's kind of sick, because it's summertime and it's hot and I'm gardening, and they weren't immodest in any way, shape, or form. So that's really weird. There was something else that she said. Oh, she said to me, well, if you're ever lonely, you know where I live or whatever. Because the reason it's weird is because I've said this in my own home, to somebody that I was feeling very lonely because my husband was gone a lot. And yeah, like maybe, but it's really weird because it's a conversation repeated back, just like the neighbor said, oh, but we're the ones in the wrong. That was something that I had typed in on my computer when I was being harassed on my computer within the past couple of weeks. So it's things that are happening privately in my own home that are being spoken back to me, or within my hearing whenever I literally walk out my door, which is still like very private. Like I've got a fence, it should be very private property. But I mean, it's things that happen privately in my own home that are apparently being listened to or surveilled or spoken back to me. So anyways, I need to go get some dinner. I'm kind of hungry. So that's the end of this video. Alright, I'm leaving my house to go report Henry's abuse to the police. There was a gray, I believe it was a minivan at the end of my street, and I took down the license plate. It was YDO91D, and now it's gone. I noticed that there was another gray minivan right outside at the end of my driveway. I did take a picture of its license plate. Hopefully it turned up all right. When I stepped out of my house, my neighbor next door on the side of the green fence closed their window immediately. They were speaking to someone and they had it open. So apparently they didn't want me to hear what they were saying, maybe. And Wendy's door and screen door was open across the street. So I've got a lot of people who are observing me because I posted evidence of my animals' abuse that they likely know about and have known about and have done nothing about, which is, if it's not illegal, it ought to be illegal. It's certainly unethical. You know, a lot of times people do link abuse of animals to abuse of humans as well. So, yeah, very interesting. Interesting day so far. Okay, some of my lavender has been pulled out that I just planted. There had been evidence for this a little while back, and I had called my husband out to show it to him because I had just worked on planting it, and it's something that I enjoy as my garden. So, you know, we're targeting the things that I enjoy here, it looks like. I don't think it was pulled out by my animals, although I do have my chickens over here. They do like to dig over here, and they have been digging over here, but they don't show any interest in actually eating my lavender. Hi, Henry. Hi, baby. Hi. So I'm going to try and replant that, and hopefully it hasn't gotten too much heat and died. But this would be on my property in my backyard, a place that people should not be. So yeah, just, you know, there's no like hole from where it came from. If you look at where it was right here. So it's kind of odd. I don't know. Anyways, that's that. Alright, I just came outside to find this. I don't know if you can see it, but my hose is on. Yeah, the water's cold, so it's been on for a while. I don't know how long. It's been turned on. I guess, I mean, even if it's only turned to there, this is off, but even if it is only turned to there, where it had been, you can see it is just simply on. It's very obviously on. So somebody wouldn't have left it like this by accident. Yep, looks like somebody's been on my property. So this is more property damage. And this is going to, Lord even knows how much this will end up costing, because I don't know how long it's been on. Okay, this is Psalm 119, verses 137 through 144. Righteous art thou, O Lord, and upright are thy judgments. Thy testimonies that thou hast commanded are righteous and very faithful. My zeal hath consumed me, because mine enemies have forgotten thy words. Thy word is very pure, therefore thy servant loveth it. I am small and despised, yet do not I forget thy precepts. Thy righteousness is an everlasting righteousness, and thy law is truth. Trouble and anguish have taken hold on me, yet thy commandments are my delights. The righteousness of thy testimonies is everlasting. Give me understanding, and I shall live.